Hey everybody, Texas Stroker here, Alliance's Performance Shop, Lone Star, Mopars.com. Just got out of work, thought I was gonna get off and maybe be closed for Good Friday. No dice, emergencies, critical things happening, so I'll be headed back tomorrow. It's still Good Friday nonetheless, Easter weekend coming up. But what we're gonna do here, timestamps, they're your friend. If you want to use them, go for it. But we've got a KC tool haul, and part of me thinks maybe I should like front load this one so people could see it, but I also sequentially number them, so I don't know. By the time you see this, this will be gone, but this is why I made a standalone video. I guess we'll just say the standalone video should have covered it. But I got some pretty cool stuff here. Previous tool hauls, we've kind of had like so much come in and stack up, it just sort of seemed practical to do the themes. I think we're kind of getting back to just here's the random stuff I bought, and we'll tell you why. But anyway, if I can find what I was looking for, which is right here, we've got, anytime you place an order with KC Tool, whether it is a foam tray that knocks your tripod around or a $1 bit, you get a bit of thanks. This is currently shipping from Vera. It is a number 2 Phillips, got the Take It Easy tool finder, and this one, if you pay close attention to these, it's actually got the banding with KC Tool, so always cool. If you hit $75, you get free freight. If you hit the $100 threshold, you get a mystery sticker. What are mystery stickers? Think of the German Tool sticker pack, sort of hyped up 90fied holographic type of a sticker. And this is what we've got. So we're also to a point now where we're just going to come in here and we're working towards the complete set. Again, some of you may not care, timestamps are there, but it won't take long. What do we currently lack? Hazet, unfortunately, would love to have that one. Vera, and oddly enough, KC Tool. Yeah, go figure. So I would say by far my most common is Philo. We're just stacking those things up like crazy. So here's the bag. Tells you we hit the $100 mark. I typically try to, and I'm very curious. It doesn't feel like a big sticker. I wonder if it's I kind of have a guess. Oh, okay. Well, I can work with that. So we got witty, witty. So many people I've seen like do witty. That kind of does flow, for a native English speaker. That's sort of like a cool way to do it. But hey, the good news is that is a duplicate, but is the first duplicate. So if I was trying to make a second set, we're kind of covered. But yeah, that is what we reeled in there for our bonus freebie stuff. And what we've got to throw down now is another free item. You're thinking, another free item? Well, I just thought they did the bit of thanks. Well, that's what they typically do. But for the next 3 months, at least as of filming this, roughly 3 months, that thing right there, the seasonal, the Stahlwille seasonal, spring 2025 seasonal. All right, you've got a freaking killer opportunity here. If I flip it to the back, you're going to see like Stahlwille BOGO. BOGO, like buy one, get one free? Like, when does that happen with German tools? Well, it happens right now. And as I open this up, like I don't go to all the extent to troll people of printing a color flyer. No, that's too rich for my blood. But right here, KC Tool, buy one, get one. Of course, equal or lesser value. You're not going to get like, I'll buy the $5 one and take the $60 one for free, please. You're going to get the $60 pliers, you'll get the 5 pair for free, right? But, more likely, you're probably going to try to find something close, in price or slightly under and maximize your savings. Just like, hey, these are the 2 I want or need to try. Whatever it may be, kind of do what's best for you. It is a nice assortment. Sort of side cutters, combination pliers, snipe nose, needle nose, whatever you want to call them, pincers, end cutters, again, vernacular applies, wire strippers, and there's even some funky bent nose ones. I think, were they telephone pliers, something. But there is also VDE. Now, I don't know if this is the updated or if it's going to be the old school handles. Could be kind of clearing out stock. I don't know. Like I said in the standalone video, if you're really particular about that stuff, you might want to contact KC Tool, find out for sure. But I cashed in, and the thing I love about this seasonal is most people including a lot of people that watch this channel and are actually into German tools. There's a couple of brands that you likely avoid, and it's mainly due to the price tier. And one of them would be Stahlwille, and you're thinking like, oh, that's a really nice looking pair of pliers. I agree. This is my favorite pair of pliers from Stahlwille. And you're like, favorite? You just got them. No, no, no. We went down this rabbit hole quite some time ago. And lucky for me, this is kind of how I had a rough feel for Stahlwille VBW stuff, and I knew that I would like the 2-component handle. So that's what they look like after all this time. Again, I genuinely do like the handle. I'm a big fan of it. These and the Hazets are used quite a bit, ironically, just a scaled down iteration of a needle nose or snipe nose, I guess as German tool companies refer to them. The only real complaint I have with certain light, you can see it, with both of them, the Stahlwille and the Hazet, is they kind of flash rust. And if you know anything about where I'm at, you know, it's April, it's 90 degrees. I was up there on, of course, a ladder in the shop stocking some stuff with no fan and no air blowing on me, so that was a fun afternoon for me. But yeah, 92 degrees and about 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Needless to say, it's dry. So for me to have rust, it's not like I'm in a Gulf Coast, it's not like I'm in Florida, you know, Eastern Seaboard, Pacific, you know, salting up thing, nothing like that. It's just, it happened. I don't know why. And it's both of them kind of very, very limited areas, but it's kind of towards, not the very tip, but up towards the tip. I can't explain it in terms of the jaw wear. Man, if I just had a free hand to dial that in, there we go. Kind of see some junk in the teeth. Sorry, I don't meticulously clean these every time. They get really bad, I tend to, at least here at the house. At work, I don't always have time. But bottom line, I've gotten a lot of seat time with these, and I like them. This particular pair, and this is going to be important, all right, especially if you're going to dial in on this stuff, 160. Pay attention to the part number, but particularly these last 3 digits. That's 160. That is the length. Knipex, similar thing. Stahlwille, 160. That's what we're looking at there. So when you go to pick your pliers, you have to be very careful. Number one, do you want VDE or not? If the answer is no, you can set those off to the side. But if you're thinking, I'm going to try these snipe nose, this guy likes them, you know, I'll give them a whirl, especially when I get a pair for free of my choosing. You've got to be careful because there's multiple lengths, all right? And you've got the multi-component or the Stahlwille dipped. I personally actually like their dipped handles as well. If I had to pick, if I could pick, I would go multi-component. I just like it better. These are very nice. They're kind of, I would say, more along the lines of the VHA, maybe not quite as thick, but kind of the same supple feel. It's one of those things, you've got to have all this stuff and have used it and kind of sampled it like I have, and you can be like, oh yeah, I kind of see what he's saying. Otherwise, it's kind of meaningless, but big fan if you're thinking like, you know what, I think I'll just get the dipped handle. Okay, something kind of like this. Straight dipped, like channel lock blue type of a thing, right? They don't have that, oddly enough. You're thinking like, well, you know, in Knipex, everybody gets 2-component, but I just get the dipped ones because I can clean them easier. Totally understand it if that's what you're wanting to do in Stahlwille, and to my knowledge, I do not know of a Stahlwille plier having a smooth dipped handle. Granted, is this dipped? Yes, but this is like a textured dip, okay? So you got 2-component, textured, and VDE. You've got varying lengths. I will give you full disclosure here. I use those a ton. I use these not much at all. So you can probably tell by the jaws there. I'm trying to think what the last thing I did with these was. You can say, I mean, they've been used. It's just those have seen a lot of use, especially compared to this pair. So coming in next, we're going to drop down these right here. This was kind of like a weird sampling thing. I hit up Colin. I was trying to cut some stainless braid, and we just kind of threw a lot of things at it. I actually really like these. In fact, if I'm not careful and open these up, I still drop off fragments of stainless braid. In fact, pretty sure I tried to knock a lot of it off so I didn't stab myself. But catching right there, there's just a lot. If you see something that looks shiny and thin, that's what it is. So these have been used a lot. They have not had an easy life given what they are cutting, but they've actually been really, really good. These are 1 130s. So I'm going to try to kind of line this up. A 130, a 160. I want to say these are 160s as well. That is correct. That's sort of what we have in like common pliers. Something, when I first saw this, I was very optimistic. I was like, oh man, I'm going to stock up big time. It's true. You get to buy one, get one free, but it's with the selected pliers. Nothing wrong with that, but this little gem right here is fantastic. I use this a lot. If you think of like a Knipex alligator, that's basically what this is, just Stahlwille's version. It would be fantastic EDC type of a plier. And then probably second most used to that is one I was absolutely enamored with. The price point, again, very high. That's their Pliers Wrench. Full disclosure, if these would have been available, buy one, get one, which I totally understand not doing that because that's going to be a very risky proposition, I would have built out the entire set. This is the only Stahlwille Pliers Wrench I've got, but I love the thing. It is very, very nice. Little subtle things like the hook on the handle, just again, you know, getting to be off camera and come in and use this stuff behind the scenes, especially over the years. I would say these would be the newest two, but just now over a span of time now, you know, you kind of like, oh, well, you know, I prefer this. Ooh, Gador, you know, that's very comfortable. Hey, you know, this is real comfortable in hand, but then when you're actually like doing something with it, not so sure, right? So over time, in the background, like I've always said, I'm kind of like building up a knowledge base of first-hand experience with all this stuff. And one of my favorite things to do is come out here and have something to do and sit there for 3 to 5 minutes and try to figure out, what do I want to use? Because, you know, not too long ago, it was like I didn't have options. It was going to be Craftsman. And now having options, very, very fun. So this was my pre-existing Stahlwille Pliers minus in an electrical box, which I didn't bother to grab. We've got one of these, and I think it was a tool of the day, if I'm thinking correctly. It seemed like it was going to be fantastic. Maybe I'm an idiot and can't get it to work right. I've had several of you say the same thing. I would proceed cautiously on the wire strippers, right? Again, could be user error, could be that style of pliers, could be I'm too old school for something that advanced or something, or that style. But for me personally, I have not had good luck with it. Every once in a while I try, but then I've been straight up honest with people. What do I use? You think like, oh, this guy must have some bougie, you know, like $200 pair of strip. No, the strippers I like the best are like the 1999 ones. I have yellow. They don't even make them anymore in yellow handled. And a lot of places seem to have them. There's been subtle tweaks to them that advance them. I don't even like the advancements. I prefer the fine-tuning adjustment knob not to be there, but like I literally, that's my go-to stripper. I constantly, you know, try to get myself things I think would be better, that I'd like better, you know, that seem more appropriate and professional, and no. At least with the stuff I do here, all right? So think battery cable, welding cable on very rare occasions here, on up to like tiny LED size wires. Okay, typically I'm sitting in like 12 to 18, you know, somewhere in that range. Now at work, yeah, you know, there's different options, and I kind of go even more old school, but the little cheap automatic thing, it's my go-to. So this was pre-existing, but I cannot pass up a good deal. We might go back for more. I don't know. I was thinking they might sell out. That is the other catch. It's limited inventory. Their words, not mine. And I don't know, of course, how limited it is, but it's still in stock. So take for that what you will. But what did I do? What did we pick up? What did we add? Well, turn around over here. I went with, I had to get my little price sheet over here. I went with a sure thing, and I went with something that I really wanted to try that I didn't have. So interestingly enough, the thing that, you know what, let's just screw it. Let's go with what I'm excited about that I know I would like. Okay. What we did, this was technically the free pair, all right? A free street value $53 pair of Stahlwille pliers, all right? These are Stahlwille's 6529 snipe nose pliers with cutter. You can call them radio pliers, telephone pliers. They are chrome. Not sure how I feel about that. We'll figure that out over time. And they are multi-component. Again, $53.04 is the street price. I feel like an absolute loser for not having my Stahlwille scissors over here. So I'll just keep these out of the frame. Maybe they are the Stahlwille scissors. Maybe there's a beautiful green handle on the end. But yeah, this is what we did. This is that chromed and longer. 160, 200. 200 is a very nice length, I must say, for needle nose pliers. You're gonna hear me say needle nose. Yes, I know. Okay, technically there's pliers that come to more of a tip and can be called needle nose. Long nose, needle nose, just use your vernacular, use your exact appropriate term. You know what? Screw it. We'll just go with snipe nose. You can't comment down there and correct me on that one. But if I was sitting there and I had to tell somebody at work to go grab needle nose pliers, if they brought this back, I'm fine. Okay. If it's some crazy thing, you know, thinner and more particular than that, I'll deal with it over time. All right, here, man, that is a killer glare. Beautiful look. Stahlwille made in Germany. But the part number there, 6529, 200. 200 again being our length. There you can see the Stahlwille brandings maintained. Oh man, I've used those so much that's like lost some of the spring, you know, a hook adhesive, whatever you want to call it, with the rubber, you know, like fresh rubber. When you put your thumb down, it kind of like has that little bit of a stick to it. Yeah, those are probably coated in dust or something, but nothing too crazy on these. They're just really comfortable, really ergonomic handles. One of my favorite things is the kick out here. Again, just over time, you learn to appreciate little things. Slip guard, handle guard, safety net, whatever you want to call it. Just extra padding. I personally love it. Right here, the teeth are going to be exactly the same pattern. There's way more of them. You do still have a nice flat section, so you need that for bending and not scuffing something up. We've got the teeth here, and we've got the cutter. Now, will the chrome play a role in increasing or decreasing the gripping power? Will it prolong the life of the plier? Will it impact the cutting? Gonna have to figure that one out over time. Again, if you're into those sorts of questions, you're like, man, why don't you make videos like that? Eventually I will, but I can do you one better. If you haven't heard of German Tool Reviews, he kind of dropped the channel. He had some stuff he had to tend to, I think arthritis in the hands. That was an excellent channel. In addition to tool hauls, he had very scientific. You know how I just sit here and, you know, ad-lib things as we go? His was almost like narrated script, well planned out, thought out, and he did shootouts. He did comparisons between various tools, and this is definitely content. If you like this stuff, I would recommend you check that out as well. But coming in right here side by side again to hopefully help you decide, like, okay, hey, that could be cool, but I'm kind of, you know, treading unexplored territory here personally. I think I'll go with the cheaper alternative. 160 does look like a good length to me. That's basically what we're trying to accomplish here, is just showcase the difference in the pliers to you. The thing I'm most excited about this, man, the difference in, you know, like well used and articulated versus brand new. A lot of people complain about this. I don't have an issue with that. It's like, you know, eventually, you know, pliers get to where they're too floppy, and then I complain maybe. But it's sort of one of those things. I don't expect these to come like this. This is what happens when you use the tool, you know. There's just gunk in the joint, and it sort of breaks in. It's like jeans or shoes. I personally have zero qualms with any of that stuff, but it is what it is. You know, certain people, certain directions, I suppose. These right here, I don't think they're chrome plated. I think they're just kind of finished naturally. The chrome, you know, if these were chromed at 160, would I have the flash rusting? I don't know that I would. I would hope not. All right. But what I'm excited about is seeing what other people think. This, again, it's one of those things. If you come in and you're like, wow, German tools, you just get into it, and you're sitting there like, ah, man, I think I'm going to try this and this. And then you look at the prices. And of course, with pliers, you hear like, oh, Knipex is king. Oh, you know, the tool trucks sell Knipex. All my buddies have Knipex. So you look at the prices, and if you know this is sitting there at like $53, and the Knipex equivalent is like $27 on sale, like, you're probably going to buy the Knipex or 2 pair or something, you know, or come back and buy a second pair if you liked it. Totally understandable, but what that does is it keeps typical people. I wouldn't consider myself typical in this sense because I enjoy this and I want to try everything, you know. But it keeps the regular people from like, well, you know, I was going to actually try that green one out. Like, green's my favorite color. I was going to try it, but man, the price. This is now your gateway where it's like, okay, well, hey, you know, I brought in Knipex. I'm really happy with it. But that one time, that Gador thing was on Tool of the Day. I kind of liked it. I wonder if I'd like Stahlwille. I always wanted to tell people I have Stahlwille tools and, you know, have them look at me funny. This is a killer time to do it because, again, it's, yes, buy one, get one free. You can also look at that as instead of paying $53 for these, we're paying $26.50. And at $26.50, when you came in with the intention of trying something new or getting German, you know, 8-inch needle nose pliers, if that was the price point, you might have gone that direction, right? Hazet, Stahlwille, they've always kind of been like tiered out over here to the point where, especially with, you know, the reputation of Knipex, people just default to what they feel is a safe commodity, and then this kind of remains unexplored, right, by most people. So that is what I'm excited about because it's going to give people that have wanted to try this but could never justify it a legitimate justification for coming in. Now, if you recall, you know, you're like, well, you said that was the cheaper pair of $53. What did you do? You know, you said no Pliers wrenches, sadly. Well, we didn't spend much more than that. And again, that maximizes my free pair, right? It sucks if you pay like $60 for a pair of pliers, and then your free one is $12. You know, you gotta, all things considered, you would want to try and match it up. So coming in at $56.40. That's right, just about $3 more. Its Stahlwille is $66.18. They are heavy duty. They are 160 millimeters. They feature multi-component handles. Okay, they have got chrome plating, and if I turn around, and what have I done with them? Let's drag this out awkwardly for a few seconds as I attempt to figure out. There they are, hidden from me. They're what Stahlwille is going to come in and call top cutters. Here they are. See? Beautiful, right? You're like, wow, what a great pair of pliers. Something I love about this, that's the old logo. I gotta say, I totally get it. I think they're kind of like streamline and modernize it with the silhouette, you know, the white and silver. This, to me, is what I knew of Stahlwille when I came in. I personally love that. And, bottom line, if there's like shirts on a rack somewhere that you could buy to show your Stahlwille spirit, I would want the old logo. If it was clearanced, all the better. I can buy 2 of them because I'm going to wear it out. But you're thinking like, well, Troll, show us the pliers. I will. Just have to cut this open. All right, so top cutters, top cutters. What would that be in German plier vernacular? There they are. Thinking like, okay, move the hand. There you go. Kidding aside, this is what I got. And, oh, that is a beautiful, almost seamless, like, I mean, in the camera here, you basically struggle to pick up the gap, right? Granted, from here you can see it, but I mean, here, just look at that. That's like a, if I just had this in camera and took the pliers away off the backdrop, I could pass that off as a hammerhead. That's how good the finish is on that. That is insane. What a glorious thing to behold, is it not? I think so. But I'm excited. I do not have a pair of Stahlwille top cutters, as they're going to call them. To me, these are like pincers. We can get decent range out of these. Again, some people sit there and whine about this. I'll break it in over time, right? If I don't, it's because it wasn't used. But you're thinking like, well, that's kind of an odd pair of pliers to bring in. Wouldn't you like been better off with, like, some side cutters, you know, and like a longer pair? That one's kind of small. Possibly, but I kind of decided I want to take these to work. And you're thinking like, work? What'd you do with these at work? Well, 1 second here. I meant to grab these a second ago. This is the only other German pair of what I would call pincers. and it's from Knipex. And this one, actually, speaking of hammerheads, this is sort of the selling point here. They make some without this feature, but, you know, a lot of times, what are you doing with these? You're pulling nails, studs, staples, screws, cutting broken fasteners. Maybe it's a screw and the head came off. You're going to go down, flush cut it. Right here, this serves as a hammer. So essentially, you come in, and if you've got just like the head of a nail that came off or something, and instead of trying to sit there and pull it out, you can just whack, send it back home, right? At work, and I wish I had this here so I could kind of show it to you. I rock a pair of channel lock pincers, and that thing has been through the ringers. I absolutely love it. And full disclosure, you're thinking like, well, what kind of cool specialty stuff are you doing with those, buddy? Nothing glamorous at all. I'm basically taking stuff like this. We'll get some broken German tools in there for you, right? These little guys, and you're thinking like, oh, cool, where's the tips on these? Well, they don't have tips because I broke them doing this work. And what I would do is pull staples, and sometimes it's like regular staples, nothing to them. Sometimes they're like big, thick box packing carton staples. Sometimes they're driven through cardboard. Sometimes they are driven through pallets. Sometimes they're driven through a combination of the two. Sometimes they're wide and normal. Sometimes they're those ones that are, you know, that wide but have legs that go 18 miles into the wood and the earth below. And it's a deal where when I can, like, I'll get junk pallets in all the time, crates that are beaten up, but I get good ones too. And when I get good ones, I want to reuse them. And in addition to just unpacking things and having to do it right, I try to salvage the cardboard. I try to salvage the pallets. I'll salvage the crates. I also then is the guy that will then load it all up on the forklift and drive it out and bring it back in and probably be the one packing it. When I go and grab a pallet off of the stack, you know, like 6 weeks later, I don't want to think, oh, that's the one that I left all the staples hanging out of, you know, because I could just come in and rip the box, you know, or pull the wood I have to get to off. But when you do that, you've got all this crud. And again, you don't think of this until it goes into your hand, you know, or, you know, like a coworker's like, and it went into their hand. I get rid of that stuff, and so I'll get everything back to pristine condition, right, or at least where I'm happy with it. Sometimes, you know, like stuff's broken off, like, yeah, I do come in and I just hammer the crud home. But this is something that, I mean, I use the ever-living snot out of. And I was like, you know, I wonder how the Stahlwilles would do. And granted, yes, it's an expensive pair to figure that out, but, again, these were free. I bought these for $56. I got a $53 pair of long needle nose that I know I'm going to like for free. If you're not happy with that outlook, $26. It's a win across the board. And that's what I brought in. Will we get more? Possibly. You know, as I sit here and I've handled these and I see them, and man, do they look good. I kind of think like, you know, I should have just gotten some some bigger side cutters, but we will figure that out as we go. Who knows, maybe there'll be a tool of the day come up and I'll tack on some Stahlwille buy one get one pliers to get free shipping, or if I'm like at, you know, the $76 mark and I can throw something on, get a mystery sticker and try to complete my set, we'll do that. But that is what I brought in, and sadly that's taken us 30 minutes, and it's like, well, I had some other stuff over here. And maybe I'll dial it back. Maybe, because there is an item I'd like to spend some more time on. But I won't leave you hanging after I said, I think we're getting back to just throwing everything down. Well, hold up 1 second, because I got this from Hazet. This little thing, it was recently Tool of the Day. It was also Tool of the Day when it had like a really big discount on it. So I think like somewhere around 50% off. It is the Hazet 811BH. I absolutely love these things. Once again, I wish I could pull out the matching equivalent 810BH because that thing is at work. And I could swear, I know somewhere around here I've got one, but I cannot find the full-size iteration. This is a very, very big deal because this is arguably one of the greatest bit holders of all time. So I'm just going to come in here. This is an old bit of Thinks, and this is the 811. Check this out. I'm going to set it down here. And you're thinking like, okay, well, you know, pull it in. Nope. You're thinking like, whoa, did you just seat that without having to pull back? Whoa. That seemed a little bit more aggressive of an exit than I remember. Yeah, we've covered this before. We've covered this series. But the big change, obviously the 811, if you pay good attention, if you're familiar with the Hazet, this is a different handle. Well, we maxed out our recording time. I don't know where we left off, but if you pay attention, this is the 811. It's a subtly different handle. Things I like about it, things I don't. One of the downturns, in my personal opinion, with the 810, I think it's a little bit more ergonomic, and I know definitively I can spin it quicker. I absolutely love that handle, particularly for this tool. The other thing, I don't know if they maybe changed it, like maybe I got like an old one or I've just had it for long enough, but while they did go to this style, right, minus having the quick insertion, you know, you used to have to pull back to load the bit. While they did go to that, the one that I have at work, right here where this blue, Hazet blue, teal, whatever you want to call it, collar is, it's knurled. And I have a really hard time figuring out which one I like better, because part of me loves this little rubber sleeve, right? But I always love knurling, and that was some really good knurling. Just in case you've forgotten how great this little gem is, if I can find my token L key here. What was that? A little clip of some sort. This has a magnet, and it's a very good magnet, although, you know, we just tossed an L key. But there is a ball retention in this, and you can see it right there. Don't have to even zoom in. I do want to showcase the sleeve. Right there, you're going to see the down arrow, right? That's your bit coming in. You're also going to see an up arrow nested inside the down arrow. Okay, and since I cannot find my 810s, we're going to come in and I'm going to turn around. I actually know where these are. We won't have an awkward pause this time. I'm going to grab this guy and this guy. And you're thinking like, man, those are identical. Yes and no. All right, if we dial in here, you're going to see 810 BHK. This was an 810 with the updated handle, and then part number updated to 811 BHK. All right, you're thinking like, what's the deal? Look at this. Think back to what we just showcased, that up arrow. This one does not have it. So when I eject this, I can come in and I can place it. Didn't have to touch the collar. And you're like, we'll do that with the other one. Okay, we'll come in here, gonna seat this bit. I can't. I have to literally come in. I know. First world problem there. But if you were supposed to improve this in any way, shape, or form, there's not much you can do, and that did it. And that is essentially the same thing that's changed shape there. This is just like your full-size standard handle. Obviously, this would pair better with, you know, like 89, 100 millimeter bits, you know, something along those lines, maybe even something longer, because it is, again, a full-size handle. These are both going to be compact iterations. But that thing was on Tool of the Day for freaking A, like $15. I told you, every time I show those and pull them out or introduce a new one, I'm like, and you can get these cheap, you know. Hazet pliers, yeah, you rarely see that at a price where like, yeah, let's throw some cash down and try it out finally. That little bit holder, if you want an entryway into Hazet and be like, oh, well, let me see if I like that thing or not, that's the way to go. It is absolutely absurd. So, case in point, the other thing great about this entire line, the retention of the bit for just having that one ball in there. It is absolutely insane. Rock solid, one of the best I believe you will find. Something I don't think you can complain much about. You would need a mighty arsenal of bit holders to be able to say, no, I like the other one better. So, especially when you factor in price. And possibly ergonomics, color preference, things like that. But I mean, bottom line, throw this down with anybody. Total tool snob, a Harbor Freight person, everything in between and things on both other sides. This is just a solid little tool, and again, at an excellent price point. So that's what we did. Again, the was going to be the star of the show here. I don't want to like turn this into an hour-long spectacle. Maybe that one should get a standalone. There is another tool that will then be robbed of its glory. There's actually two that I think could use standalone videos. Yeah, get excited. We got some cool stuff coming. But, I don't know. Some people like the really long ones. Some people like can't take anything longer than like TikTok iterations. I don't know. To me, it needs to be informational, educational, and a little, a little entertaining, right? Prioritizing the information and the education, as long as it's something that adds value, or I'm like, okay, hey, that's what I needed to know. I'm going to try that. Oh, I'm going to stay away from that. When I watch videos, that's what I look for. And if it doesn't have that, I don't watch the video anymore, right? So when I make videos, I try to make them the same way as if I was going to be the one watching it. So walk you through the Stahlwille Pliers, introduce the new ones, tell you about the deal, and then we just kind of threw this in because why not, right? So yeah, that is something. Again, if you're like, man, these Stahlwille BOGOs, huh? If you maybe you drop down to like that 160 size and you get needle nose and a side cutter, and then you're like, you know what, I'm gonna try this crud too, and you're sitting there at like 85 bucks, something like this, okay, you're gonna pay 10, 15, whatever in freight anyway. Buy this, don't pay the freight, and then get a mystery sticker too. I still, as of recording this, am not an affiliate. I do not make money. There's nothing nefarious on mine. People always tell me I should, and maybe I should because everyone else does it. You half the time, like, you come in and you're like, wow, I'm gonna go buy these pliers, I hope he has them linked. So many times people don't do that because they have such a giant laundry list of junk from Amazon. It's basically gotten to the point where I used to read video descriptions, kind of get an idea what the video was, you know, and everything. It's almost pointless now because they don't even say like, hey, this is me hopping on the Matco truck and we're going to check out the new XYZ. No, it's just an Amazon laundry list. And I do take the extra time when I come through and edit this to timestamp it. So if you're like, I don't care about the freebies, I know about them, and don't care about this tool, that one's what I want to see. If you want to skip to the 17-minute mark, you do it. Does it benefit the channel? Absolutely not. It screws me over big time. But I still do it for your convenience. Even if you watch full length every time, but you want to revisit something, boom, there you go. You wanted to see the Pincers, you wanted to see the Snipe, whatever, this thing, there's a timestamp, there's a link, it's for your convenience. And again, that's the way I roll, and that's how I've done it. But like I said, you know, if you're sitting here and like, oh, this guy's just shilling stuff for kids, no. This is me buying this stuff. It's not sent to me, I buy it. And then like I said, I don't get commissions, I don't get affiliate links. Probably should, you know, it's been offered, but I don't do it. And it's, again, I would be doing this without YouTube. I'd be doing this without, you know, forums. I'd be doing this without bulletin boards and coffee shops. I genuinely enjoy it. You should probably have figured that out by now. There's a reason, you know, why would a man have this many screwdrivers? Like, well, you know, it's cool to me. Some people, it's absolutely ridiculous, ludicrous, stupid, a waste of time. You don't want to know what I think about their hobbies. But for me, I genuinely enjoy this, grabbing the 8-inch needle nose and saying like, okay, hey, you know, I've always had these 318 CBs on the bench, you know, since eternity's come. Will these replace them? Will they supersede them? Same thing here, like, will I get these? And I'll be like, man, that is absolutely exquisitely finished, great in hand, but those freaking little, you know, $17 channel locks are tough to beat. That to me is the exciting part, and having the options. So that's why I do it. That's why I've continued to do this, and that's why I appreciate it when there's either really good deals or new stuff. Yeah, because eventually, I actually do enjoy going back as well, particularly like with ratchets. You'll see me do this with like some of the bigger brands. Like, I don't just want to see the brand new. I'm like, okay, what was the one like before I started buying this brand? And sort of just the lineage, the heritage. Again, I assume if some of you are watching this channel, veteran viewers, you're probably the same way or very similar. And other people just don't get it, and that's fine. They don't have to. But if you did already, hopefully, cash in on the Stahlwille BOGO, what did you get? How do you like it? What are you comparing it to? Did you pick up this exact 200mm pair of Snipe nose pliers, and you're like, this is the greatest thing ever? Did it replace your Knipex? Is this a situation where you're like, okay, This doesn't beat out my Talon grips from Snap-on, but if they were fixed, I would. This is my second pair. Like, you know, this is a pair of pliers I would buy again and replace. Are you comparing it to NWS? How does this handle rate? Are you comparing it to VHA? They've been having some big plier sales. Is this a situation where you've got old school channel lock stuff? Whatever it might be, I want to know how you like it, what you're comparing it to, and where you would rank it. Granted, in my opinion, you know, that stuff takes time. You know, you can't just come in, tool haul, and like, best Plier pliers ever had. That's completely ludicrous. You need to use these, particularly over time. But if you've done that, you've got a rough idea. You're like, man, you know, like, I kind of like my Knipex better, but that handle is epic. If this is a situation where you're like, man, I wish Knipex handles were like this, but red, whatever your thoughts, whatever your opinions, feel free to leave them down below. Again, LoneStarMopars.com is the website. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all three at Lone Star Mopars. With that said, I do hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned a little something. I hope you're able to take advantage of this opportunity to explore a brand. You know, think how long I've done this, and that's it, minus the wire strippers for Stahlwille Pliers. So even for someone like me, like, you know, it's not thoroughly explored by any stretch of the imagination. This is an excellent opportunity. So I hope you're able to take advantage of that as well. I'm looking forward to seeing what you pick up, how you think they stack up. But if you have not subscribed and you enjoy this type of a thing, I encourage you to do so. If you do that, you jump your Charger across the creek, you crash down in the General Lee, and you grab your 8-inch pair of Stahlwille Snipe nose pliers. YouTube just might notify you we got brand new videos every Wednesday and Saturday, 9 a.m. Texas time. With that said, thanks again for watching, and I hope I catch you back here for more action from the shop.